Hey there, this is Christy with ChristyMatthewsOnline.com. Hope you're having a great day. I've got a great topic for you, and it is problems drive commerce. Well, what does that mean? Well, we live in a world of problems and problem solvers. There's always a balance. If there's a problem, there's somebody who will create a solution to the problem. And that's what makes the world go round. So, you know, way back when, before the automobile, there was a need to be able to go farther than, what horse can carry us. So there was the invention of the automobile. I mean, that kind of thing. Back in the 50s, people were starting to move around more because of the automobile. So they were more busy. So there was less time, maybe to cook dinner and that type of thing. So there was the invention of fast food restaurants. Um, and the list can go on and on. So let me bring up the one problem and solution, and that is that of the minimum wage or the living wage. Now that's a real problem in this country, especially when we have a service economy, which is rapidly changing, by the way. Anyway, um, especially after the Great Recession, we had quite a few people that, 30%. In fact, when you have 97 million people out of work and there's like 330 million people in this country, and those are the numbers today, that's a third of our country that's still out of work, folks. So I just want to put that out there. Anyway, a lot of people, they had to survive, they had to take care of their families. So if they were lucky, they got into a fast food restaurant, or maybe they went to work for Walmart or Target, that type of thing. And folks, those were services or stores that really catered to those who are, who are minding their costs. So here's the person that's working at the fast food restaurant, for instance. Well, back in the 50s, those jobs were kind of geared towards teenagers because the teenagers were just learning how to work, and it was a great environment to teach them how to work. They may have had an older manager who might have been 18, 20 years old, maybe 22, and an assistant manager that was, over 18, but basically the rest of the workforce was maybe 16 years old. Okay? But over time, and as the economy changed, we had adults taking those positions. And without getting all the regulations and everything that drove us to that point, we now have a situation where we have grown adults who are looking at a career path, maybe at McDonald's or Pizza Shack or something like that. I'm not putting that down in any way, so please don't go there with me. But what I want to emphasize is that there is an economic issue with that. So the problem for the employees are they're not making enough money. And they may have to go get 2 or 3 of those jobs and juggle the schedules, and they're affecting their health because they're working so damn hard. The problem for the employer is that the cost of producing the product that they sell now has gone astronomically high. You see, when you are guaranteeing somebody $15 an hour, the employee might be receiving that, but the employer is actually paying about $22 an hour when you take in Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, all of those types of taxes that come into play. So, and I know the employees don't care, but this is a real problem for the employer because if they can't make a profit, they're not going to make those jobs. So there's more problem. So innovators come in and they say, okay, the employees, or I'm saying the employers, are given a living wage. But we also have to solve the problem of profitability. And so innovators are now creating robots that can deal with the predictive behavior of the repetitive nature of making hamburgers, for instance. So there are going to be employees getting that living wage, but there's going to be far fewer employees there because robots will be coming in and taking over those jobs. That's very real. That's happening today. In fact, it's such a societal problem. It's looking like the employers are going to have to pay employment tax for the robots. So we'll see how that one plays out. My next example is the couple that is moving from California to Florida, and they need to employ a realtor. So they hook up with the realtor in Florida. The Florida realtor refers them to their local lender. The lender qualifies them, but does not share all of the finite details of the qualification process with the realtor. So the buyers tell the realtor, this is the price range I want to buy in, but the lender knows that they have qualified them for a greater range than that so that they can stretch if they need to. So the realtor takes them out and they're showing them homes that are just not meeting their needs. And these homes are needing work, they're older, they're going to need some major renovation. But the buyer that's just moved 3,000 miles, just paid for a move, and they're starting new jobs, they don't have time to renovate the house. They may have no desire to renovate the house. But yet the realtor is coming in and saying, well, look at here, let's move this wall. Oh, you could just put in tile, you can, oh, put in new windows. And now the buyer's sitting there going, I don't want this problem. I don't want these expenses. So they go out on their own, which is what they did, and they found a for sale by owner, found the perfect house. And isn't this how it always works? So now the realtor's going, I can't help you with that because they're not paying me a commission. So here's the solution to that problem, is that the buyer needed to sit down and look at how much it was going to cost them in terms of time and money to renovate those other houses. And it turned out that it was going to cost them a great deal more than just paying their realtor's commission. So what they did is they signed a buyer brokerage agreement and they negotiated a lower commission than what the realtor may have gotten in that circumstance. And they paid them, and the buyer got into the home that they desired. Of course, they had inspections and everything like that done, but for this brief video, I just want to get out all of those, not go into all the fine details. Let's talk about the buyer who is seeing the mortgage lender. Okay, so mortgage lender sits down with the client and asks a lot of questions and wants to know what is the concern for the buyer. The buyer says, I want a safe loan. I want to make sure that I have a low interest rate. I don't have a very big down payment. So the lender offers an FHA loan. So there's a few more hoops to jump through with that loan, and this buyer is extremely busy. So the buyer goes off to, or the borrower goes off and talks to some other lender, and the lender goes ahead and sells them on the idea of a very easy qualifying loan called an 80/20, an interest-only 80/20. Now, mind you, the first loan would allow the home to be paid off every time, or not paid off entirely, but money would be going towards principal reduction. So the loan would be going lower every month that they made a payment. On the other scenario, the borrower was just going to pay the interest on not only the first loan, but the second loan. And guess what happened? When the economy crashed, those interest rates, the buyer was no longer able to pay the interest that was on the loan because those interest rates were going up. Also, there was no principal reduction and they lost their home. They had nothing and no skin in the game. But you know what? Why that loan was sold to the borrower? Because there was a bigger commission offering on that loan. So the mortgage lender pocketed the money, got a great commission, and by the way, they're out of the business. The mortgage lender that was willing to do the FHA loan, those fees are somewhat regulated. So there was not much commission there, and maybe why a lot of mortgage lenders don't offer those loans. Just a thought. The last one is in the health and wellness industry. So if you cannot pronounce the ingredients in your products, that is a problem because many of your clients or your customers are looking at that stuff now. They are very concerned about lotions they're putting on their skin or ingredients they're putting inside their body. It is very important to them, and clean is in. And so if you are into health and wellness, I recommend that you do get to understand what is in your ingredients. And if there's something that is hard to pronounce, let's say sodium chloride. Well, sodium chloride is just salt water. But if you don't know that and your bar or your customer doesn't know that, you may be losing a sale. So folks, these are just some examples on how to listen to your clients, listen to your customers' problems, concerns, and you become the problem solver. When you are solving your customers and your clients' problems, they are going to stay with you because they're going to know that you have their best interest in mind and not yours. Okay, folks, so that's the end of the video for today. I would love to hear your comments. If you would please put them below this video. And if you think that this video will help anybody else, I really appreciate you sharing it. So I wish you have a wonderful day today, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye now.